He had him wide open. It was underthrown.
You really put that on Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, 100% I am.
Really?
Yeah, because I know exactly, what he did, and he tried to be too perfect, and he just didn't let it go.
But don't you think Mark Andrews has got to catch that ball?
Yeah,
in that situation?
of course I do, and of course I know that he shouldn't have fumbled the ball, but of course I know that Lamar shouldn't have fumbled the ball in the first half, and Lamar shouldn't have thrown an interception in the first half. Josh Allen is a beast. He's weatherproof. He can do whatever he wants. He can just take over a game. He can run through people, run over people, run around people, and it was. Look, I'm just telling you that the Ravens, should have won the game just based on what you saw, how you felt the game was going, and especially in the second half. And the turnovers is what killed everybody this weekend, with the exception of one team, and that was the Texans, who didn't turn it over. Bobby Sloak was calling a great game. He's their offensive coordinator. It was the referees that were making very questionable calls against Patrick Mahomes. Now, I have this picture in front of me. I love Patrick. Mm-hmm. You know that.
Of course.
We go way back.
Yeah.
We go way back before he even took a snap in Kansas City, where I felt like he was going to be a great quarterback. And he's a great quarterback. And I don't blame him. I blame the officials, who are human beings. They know who they are refereeing the game. They know who's playing in the game. I just feel like the flopping aspect of it, the LeBron flop, his flop, anytime like a great athlete like that flops, whether it be Tom Brady flopping when he played or Peyton Manning flopping when he played, I hate that look. And I think that the Houston Texans got screwed out of a couple things in their game on Saturday. So 3 teams lost because of turnovers: the Lions, the Rams, and of course last night the Ravens. And I also think, and this is speculation on my part, and it's speculation on my part because when I saw the hit and I saw the remnants of the hit, I figured there's no way this guy's going to return into the game, and that's Jared Goff. And I believe that Jared Goff played the entire second half with a concussion. Now, this is the playoffs. Tom Brady even said it during the game. He's got to get back in there. And I don't know if there's different protocol for the playoffs or not.
Well, there isn't, but you could very easily sort of fugazi pass a concussion test if somebody wants you to go back in the game. I mean, that's just one of those things.
And that was one of those hits where, again, we as NFL fans, we love the NFL. I love the NFL. I played the NFL, covered the NFL all these years. Don't cover it as much like I used to, but we still talk about it here. We cover these teams here incessantly and these games incessantly. But that hit on Jared Goff should have been a penalty. It wasn't called. If that hit,
wait, on the interception?
Yes,
Why?
You are not allowed to block you're allowed to block the quarterback, but you can't hit him like that.
Why not?
Because he's defenseless. That's in the rule book.
Wait a second. How is he defenseless?
You cannot hit the quarterback like that. Did you not listen? Did you not listen to the rules expert?
Right. But that doesn't make. I heard that, but I still don't understand. So he's defenseless when when he's on defense.
All right, let me explain this to you. Back when we played, and I hate to do this, but back when we played, if we threw an interception, the defensive linemen or linebackers
go right after you.
When David Ortiz come after us, and they consider the quarterback, you could block him up top, but you can't hit him the way he was hit. You cannot lead with your helmet and hit him in the chin. That's a shot to the head. And by the way, that's not only it's the shot to the head, but it's the impact to the body and then the body hitting the ground. So he had 3 separate situations that he's dealing with. That is a penalty. So my point being is that penalty, and this is where the conspiracy theories come in. If that was Patrick Mahomes, would a penalty flag been thrown?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
okay, so that's what I'm saying. So there's your conspiracy theory. There's why everybody thinks, with Taylor Swift in the house and Patrick Mahomes, and they're going for a three-peat. Then all of a sudden, the referees have got to, officiate the game a little bit differently than they do another game, and that's the inconsistency. And that's why, to me, this whole expedited replay thing has to be more a part of the game and has to be able to officiate these particular plays the right way because there's so much inconsistency between these games.
Yeah, okay. So we hit just about everything there, so I'm not sure what to respond to with that whole thing. But, all right, let's go to Kansas City and the Texans. I am one of those guys that believes that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to get every call in a game like that, where the Houston Texans moving on kills the NFL. This week, you're not going to see that. You will not see that for two reasons. One, everybody's onto you because of what happened last week. And two, I think that the NFL would actually prefer to have the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl than the Kansas City Chiefs, because that story is better to me than the three-peat. And I think that most of America at this point is totally sick of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, they'll still watch the Super Bowl, but I think it's a much better story. So, yeah, in a game where if the Houston Texans move on, that's a disaster for the NFL, you're not going to see Patrick Mahomes get protected more than Josh Allen in the AFC Championship game. There's absolutely no way.
All right, so then you are basically saying that there is a conspiracy and that the NFL wants...
I think there's bias. I don't think it's conspiracy. I think there's a bias to great players in every sport, and I think that when it's Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs at home against an inferior opponent, I do think that whether it's conscious or unconscious, they get those calls every time. Just like Steph Curry is going to get a call at home in a playoff game, or LeBron James, same thing. It's just this stuff happens all the time. Now, do I think that there's some sort of conspiracy where it's coming up from above and they're directing the officials to do that? I'm not ruling it out, but that seems a little bit much to me.
No way.
That seems a little bit much to me. But there is no doubt that in games like that, the great players and the great teams get the benefit of the doubt.
Hey, look, we saw Tom Brady receive a lot of those calls, both when he was in Tampa and when he was in New England. He benefited from being great and being the known player. And like I said, whether it be the referee or the other officials within the crew, they know who's playing the game. They understand.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. I mean, that call when Patrick Mahomes was running with the ball and then decides to slide at the last minute and two defenders
hit themselves.
I mean, the fact that they called that is absolutely so abusive of the rules and a misinterpretation of the rules. And I don't care what the NFL rules analyst says. I don't care what the NFL comes out and tells me today. I could see with my own eyes. We all could see with our own eyes.
Yeah.
And look, I picked Kansas City to win. Like I told you, I love Patrick Mahomes and everything, but I mean, those calls, a couple of them were ridiculous.
Yeah, and when you see Patrick trying to flop and kind of waiting to get out of bounds, hoping someone's going to hit him so he could draw a penalty, and then flopping in the way that he did, it is a terrible look, and you do kind of lose some respect for him. But on the other hand, all this guy has done is gotten every single call, and here he is in a game like this saying, I'm going to do whatever I can to gain an advantage. And if these guys are always going to throw a flag when somebody touches me, then I'm going to try to draw a flag in a situation like this, because it's do or die. It's win or go home. So on one hand, yes, a great player shouldn't be resorting to that type of flopping. But on the other hand, anybody who wants to win badly is going to do whatever it takes to be able to win. And I'm sure Patrick Mahomes is like, these refs, they give me everything. So why not take advantage of that?
Yeah.
Why not? I'd be stupid not to.
And then you watch these other quarterbacks just get wiped out and no flags. I mean, it's that the hit on Jared Goff was just...
That was the greatest play of the season for me.
I know you.
That was the greatest play of I stood up. I was doing one of these. That's what I was doing. One of these fist pumps. I got up off the couch, stood up, and then especially when I saw Goff's feet in the air, boom! And then they go into the end zone. That I could not have been happier. I don't think I've been as happy the week after my team got eliminated watching a football game than that in my life.
So much for the NFC North. It's the NFC East that turned out to be the beast.
So what is it, a combined 28-5 between the Lions and the Vikings? Neither one of them won a playoff game?
Right.
Great. So much for the regular season, huh?
Yes.
But yeah, that was just amazing. Watching Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. Plus, I have like a Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin connection from the fantasy football season. So watching those guys, those were my guys. I know it's an NFC team. I know I'm not supposed to be rooting for another NFC team, but I can't. There's no way that I could have watched the Lions get to a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl before I saw my team get to one, because I wasn't alive in the 70s.
You know what this this Washington team reminds me of the '07 Giants. There's like a little bit of magic going on here, and a lot of it has to do with how good their defensive line is playing.
Okay.
Their defensive line is playing pretty damn good. I mean, they're getting after people. It's not a well-known defensive line other than maybe Jonathan Allen, but they are getting after people and they are hitting people, and they are disrupting opposing offenses. And when you have that group, much like the Giants had that group back in '07, I mean that is a big part of the success of these teams. So, it's unfortunate that that Jared Goff had to take that hit because, like I said, I think the second half, I'd be surprised if he remembers the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough thing for me to speculate on. I have no idea. For all we know, he could have actually been cleared in that tent, but I know exactly what you're saying. It's not the Detroit Lions, with all the turnovers and how bad their defense was. If Jared Goff was 100% sharp or not, they weren't winning that game.
The other thing about that Lions defense, disorganized, looked like they didn't know what they were doing. I know he's playing with a couple backups.
I don't want to hear that.
That 12 men on the field on 4th and 2.
Yeah, is one of the most disgraceful things you've ever seen.
Disorganized
from a 1 seed in that situation, 4th and 2, when they could still get a first down. Wasn't a 4th and goal. They get the first down, 1st and goal, and the whole injury thing. Because I was arguing back and forth with a friend of mine on this, who's a Jets fan who wants Aaron Glenn. So the with the Lions and the injuries, right? So I say, I mean, this is, say what you want about one game, but this is not good for Aaron Glenn as a head coach candidate. So he goes, oh, you can't blame him, all the injuries. And I said, whoa. So all the stuff that we were hearing from Aaron Glenn and from people around Aaron Glenn after they shut down the Minnesota Vikings in the Week 18 game, Aaron Glenn's got no players, and he went out there, shut him down 9 points. Look at what this guy did. It's amazing with all the injuries. So you give him credit when the defense plays well with all the injuries, but it's not his fault when they play like crap with all the injuries.
Well,
Stop.
The biggest difference is that they were playing against Sam Darnold, who's a statue, versus Jaden Daniels, who's running all over the place and making plays secondarily and just doing it with just like a matter of a fact that this is what I always do on a football field, which was amazing all into itself. I go back to worrying about a first-time head coach coming here and organizing an organization to get it and going in the right direction and being buttoned up on the sideline. I always worry about that with all these assistant head coaches that had never been head coaches before, because so much goes into organizing the entire team, from game day to practice to the way you practice, all the off season, everything that goes into it. And these guys have never ever had to deal with that. And some guys, can coach 22, other guys can coach, 53. That's just the way it is. And maybe Aaron can do it, and I hope he gets a chance. I just really am reticent that if the Jets go down this road, that in 2 years from now, we're going to be sitting here going, who are they going to hire?
Yeah, of course. I mean, and take the name off of it, and Aaron Glenn and just any coordinator who is a first-time head coach is going to come here and just get totally swallowed up.
And the other thing is, right now, what is their quarterback situation? It may be, are they bringing Aaron back? Are they not bringing Aaron? And how about if you say to Aaron, okay, we want you back. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I got to figure things out. I got to go find out whether or not I still want to play and all this stuff. I mean, what? Are you in or you're not?
Yeah.
None of this I got to wait. I got to read the tea leaves and feel like.
He's got to figure out if they want him or not first.
Yeah, but that's the other thing. I don't know. If they don't want him, then what?
Then I think he retires.
No, but all right, that's good for him. But what about the Jets?
Yeah, good luck. I mean, we know the options. We've talked about it for the Giants a million times. You got to draft a guy, you got a stopgap guy. You go, I mean, it's just over and over.
That is not good. That's not good.
It's quarterback hell for both the teams. We know this.
A head coach who has no head coaching experience.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it for months now. So I don't know if Woody Johnson looks at what happened in Detroit with Aaron Glenn and says, okay, this guy is not my head coach. Or maybe he looks at that and goes, wow, complete disorganization, 12 men on the field and getting completely roasted. This guy's perfect for our franchise. Maybe. It's sort of on brand to be a Jets head coach.